Episode 4 of Cape Fear continues many of the ideas introduced earlier in the season, but it places a much stronger focus on influence and complicity. Up until this point, Cady has largely been portrayed as a disruptive force entering the lives of the Bowden family. However, this episode begins to ask a more uncomfortable question. Is Max really forcing people to make bad decisions? Or is he simply exposing weaknesses that were already there? The strongest theme running throughout Episode 4 is complicity. Rather than showing people being forced into situations against their will, the episode repeatedly shows characters choosing to participate in things they know are wrong or dangerous. Anna is the clearest example. She knows Max is manipulative. She knows he intimidates people. She even witnesses moments that suggest that he's capable of violence. Yet she continues working with him because he helps achieve results. Her goal of freeing Ruben becomes more important than questioning how those results are obtained. This creates an uncomfortable moral dilemma. Anna wants justice, but she's increasingly willing to overlook troubling behavior if it helps her achieve that goal. This idea becomes especially important during Max's meeting with Smiley. Anna knows something questionable is happening behind closed doors, yet she chooses not to investigate. We never see exactly what Max does to obtain the statement that helps Ruben, but the implication is clear. Anna benefits from the outcome while allowing herself some distance from the methods used to achieve it. The episode repeatedly suggests that wrongdoing isn't limited to the people who commit harmful acts. Sometimes it also includes the people who knowingly look the other way. One of the most interesting parts of Episode 4 is how much time it spends exploring Max's feelings about fatherhood. The episode opens with Max performing a strange ritual involving prayers and a drawing of his unborn son. Whether the ritual is spiritual, symbolic, or something darker remains unclear, but the emotional purpose behind it is easier to understand. For all of Max's threatening qualities, the scenes involving his son feel genuinely painful. He talks about missing the chance to know his child and wondering what that life could have been. These moments humanize him without necessarily making him sympathetic. We are reminded that Max sees himself as someone who lost everything, including a future he never had the chance to experience. This theme also connects directly to the Bowden family. Throughout the season, Max has shown an unusual interest in Anna and Tom's children. Earlier episodes suggested that this was part of a larger plan, but Episode 4 adds another layer to that behavior. Zack's drawing of Max's unborn son may represent something Max can never have. While Tom and Anna struggle with their children despite still having them in their lives, Max lost that opportunity entirely. The contrast highlights one of the show's recurring ideas. People often fail to appreciate what they have until it's gone. The drawing of Adam is one of the most important symbols in the episode. Adam represents more than just Max's unborn child. He represents lost possibilities. Throughout the series, many characters are haunted by alternative versions of their lives. Anna wonders whether different choices during the trial could have changed everything. Tom appears burdened by family trauma that continues to affect him years later, and Zack desperately wants to undo the damage caused by his own actions. Max's son becomes another example of a future that never happened. This symbolism is important because Cape Fear is increasingly becoming a story about people trapped by the consequences of the past. Adam represents the life Max imagines was taken from him. Whether that belief is entirely justified is another question, but it clearly shapes how he sees himself and the world around him. Another major theme throughout Episode 4 is the failure of communication within families. Nearly every important relationship in the episode suffers because people refuse to speak honestly with one another. Tom's relationship with Zack provides the clearest example. Zack wants understanding and forgiveness, but Tom struggles to connect with him emotionally. Instead of discussing difficult subjects openly, Tom avoids them. The revelation involving his brother's suicide explains part of this behavior. Tom experienced a traumatic event at a young age and appears to have spent years suppressing those emotions rather than confronting them. This creates a cycle that affects the next generation. Because Tom never properly dealt with his own trauma, he struggles to help Zack deal with his. The episode suggests that avoiding painful subjects doesn't solve anything. It simply allows problems to grow larger over time. Much of Zack's storyline revolves around guilt. He desperately wants Sophia to forgive him, but he refuses to accept that some actions have consequences that can't be erased with a simple apology. This makes Zack one of the more tragic characters in the series. Unlike many of the adults, he at least recognizes that he did something wrong. The problem is that he believes there should be a path back to normal if he apologizes enough times. Sophia's refusal to forgive him forces him to confront a reality he doesn't want to accept. The show uses Zack's situation to explore a larger idea about accountability. Sometimes guilt can't be removed through apologies alone. Sometimes the people we hurt are under no obligation to forgive us. That lesson is painful, but it's one Zack may need to learn before he can move forward. Unfortunately, his vulnerability also makes him easier to manipulate. The more isolated he feels, the more likely he is to trust the wrong people. Episode 4 also strengthens the mystery surrounding Nevaeh. The revelation that her mother may have had a relationship with Max immediately changes how we view her role in the story. Up until now, it was possible to see her as simply another teenager caught up in the chaos surrounding the Bowdens. Now there are reasons to suspect she may be connected to something much larger. Beyond the mystery itself, Nevaeh functions as a symbol of influence. Wherever she goes, people begin acting differently. Natalie becomes increasingly distant from her family. Zack turns to her when he feels emotionally vulnerable. She consistently places herself in situations where she gains the trust of people who are already struggling. Whether Nevaeh is acting on Max's behalf or pursuing her own agenda remains unclear. However, the episode repeatedly encourages us to question her motives. The fact that she seems to appear exactly where she's needed makes her presence feel far more deliberate than accidental. The mysterious woman continues to play an important role despite appearing only briefly. Her warnings about Max stand in contrast to the way many other people view him. While journalists, supporters, and members of the public increasingly embrace Max's story, she appears terrified of him. This creates an interesting conflict. We are constantly presented with different versions of Max. Some people see him as a victim, others see him as a hero, and others see him as a threat. The woman serves as a reminder that there may still be important pieces of the story that haven't been revealed. More importantly, she represents the return of the past. Throughout the season, hidden truths keep resurfacing no matter how hard people try to bury them. The woman appears connected to events that occurred long before the series began, suggesting that Max's own secrets may eventually become just as important as those of the Bowdens. Episode 4 continues expanding the central themes of Cape Fear while pushing the characters into increasingly uncomfortable situations. More importantly, the episode suggests that the greatest threat may not be Max himself. Instead, the real danger comes from what people are willing to ignore, justify, or excuse when they believe the outcome benefits them. Max simply exposes those weaknesses and gives people opportunities to reveal who they really are. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.